we're gonna move on to a new segment that we added last episode that we're gonna keep rolling. We may not be in every episode, but it made it back into today's, and that's the wrestlers say what. Yeah, that's right. And Devon Dudley said what to this week, and he shared some insight on the value of a WWE Legends deal in his recent YouTube video on his channel. He revealed that he and Bubba Ray Dudley signed their Legend contracts 2 or 3 years ago and expressed how the wrestling landscape has changed since the 80s and 90s when post-career opportunities were fairly limited for guys that had aged out of the ring. He praised the modern system that allows former talents to continue earning by licensing their talent or their likenesses. Vince would have just found a way to fuck you over back in the day, and these guys used to definitely not get paid on their likeness, and he would just keep right on using their shit, and then eventually he got sued, and here we are in the modern era though, which is great. And Devon goes on to say, there's something called a Legends contract or Legends deal. I'm proud to say that Bubba and I signed ours 2 or 3 years ago. It has been a great opportunity. Back in the 80s or 90s, once you were done, that was it. There were no deals like this to keep earning. Times have changed, and I'm glad that I've adapted with them. WWE uses Legends likenesses for merchandise to action figures, video games, and more. Devon noted that the financial benefits are significant, with royalty checks sometimes over 30 to 40,000, saying that he's very content with how it's all going. What did you think of all that, and what do you think of being able to earn $30,000 to $40,000 a year just for them using your likeness and putting you on like T-shirts and video games, and you get a little bit of that action too?
So
that ain't bad.
I don't know if it's 30, 40K for everybody. It might depend on how much merch you sell. And the Dudley boys probably got to be like selling an okay little amount of merch. They were super popular back in the Attitude Era. If Dean Malenko signed a WWE Legends deal, would he get as much money?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. But that's just a guess. I don't know how that shit's structured. But I think it's really cool for the guys to keep, that's more than some people make a year. So if they were really struggling and falling on hard times, they could make stuff work if they really wanted to. And that's good, because I remember back in the day, you remember Scott Steiner was really critical of these contracts. And he had mentioned that a lawyer said that they're not worth the paper that they're printed on. And I guess that was essentially him just saying that they're not worth anything, and it was just them retaining your name to use your likeness on video games and merch. When you go to Walmart, Target, all those different stores that sell, these action figures and WWE merchandise, they're selling more of it than ever on these toy aisles. They take up like a large chunk of some of these aisles, right?
Oh yeah, I was in there the other day looking at mine. Brandon always goes in and shows us his, and they're always loaded to the gills. And I go to mine, and it's always Florida's a big wrestling area, but yeah, my shit's always empty. There's always a big old section for it, but it's always picked clean.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, because when we were kids, like they've been selling figures since we've been before we've been alive, but it's slowly grown and grown and grown. And they just had a small section when we were kids, probably like a 4x4, right? And that was all the action figures you got. Well, now today, they got like, times 20 of that, maybe even more.
It's like a quarter of the aisle.
Yeah. And you see Devon, you see Bubba on it, you see the NWO, you see these guys that all have these legend deals, and that's why you're seeing all these things, because this shit didn't exist back in the day, and now it does, and these guys are actually getting like something out of this, and it's good, and way to go. It's better than it used to be, and nothing bad to say about that, right?
Yeah, and we get something out of it as fans too, shit to buy.
Yeah, and occasionally we see them on like Bubba was on NXT doing that stuff, and Devon, I think, is a producer in the back too, right?
Yep, he's been working in the back for a few years now.
Apparently, they're all really happy with what he's doing. He'll probably be there doing that for a while. But overall, if you don't have anything to add, that's some good shit, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. And then why don't you tell us who said next?
Well, it's that Mr. Iguana guy. You know, he's all over the place. It was from what was the name of that?
The AAA
I know, but
NXT Worlds Collide.
Yeah, that's it. Because you know AEW had one too, so it like a very similar show. Yeah. In a recent interview with Lincia Directia TV, Mr. Iguana claimed that WWE told him that he would bypass NXT and debut directly on the main roster. He said he was at the Performance Center taking pictures with Shawn Michaels and WWE staff. Allegedly told him, "You're not going to go through NXT, you're heading straight to the main roster." According to Mr. Iguana, WWE cited his shirt sales being the top seller in the company and strong performance in action figures and trading cards. What trading cards? However, the Wrestling
They
Observer
instantly had that shit out.
However, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reporting that these public comments earned him immediate backstage heat. The segment was...
Of course.
Well, who's it coming from? Wrestling Observer newsletter?
True. That's true.
There may be truth to this, but maybe fucking not. I mean, that's like me saying that Hunter actually gave him a high five and said, "We appreciate you saying that, bud." Like, he's just fucking guessing. You could guess that would probably get him heat, but nobody fucking told him that. But the segment was later removed from the interview video. Despite this, they told him that they still have interest in using him due to his recent viral attention. It remains unclear if the backstage reaction will alter his trajectory within the company. I don't know. I'm sure he's going to do great. You know, people are really into these comedy gimmicks these days, and this is definitely a pretty unique one. And I'll say that it's not for me, and I don't really give a fuck about Mr. Iguana, but it doesn't have to be for me. And as long as other people get enjoyment out of it, that's the main thing. And I won't try to shit on it too much. I'll just state that when it comes on, unless they do something unique with this guy, I'm not expecting much.
I will say that he is very good at manipulating his little iguana thing, like doing tricks with it, like, you know, kicking it up off of the ring and getting it to land on his shoulder and just sit there. Like, you know, that's pretty good. If I was like a 10-year-old kid and I was seeing this, I'd probably be like, "Oh my God, this shit's amazing. Did you see what he just fucking did with the stuffed iguana?" But as a 43-year-old guy, I'm like, "Oh my God, did you just see what the guy did with the fucking stuffed iguana?" But I see where the appeal is for people, and they're gonna print fucking money with this guy. It's fitting that his colors are green because that's what they're gonna be making a lot of off of this dude's back, even if it's for a short time. That's right, dude. And then so that's it for the wrestlers said section this week, or this episode, maybe not this week.